This year's Women's College World Series featured thrilling finishes, another Oklahoma title and Odicci Alexander.When the final out was recorded, possibly the happiest and most electrifying span in college sports. WCWS gave way to the saddest and most monotonous span in college sports, all the days without the WCWS, as ESPN play-by-play announcer Beth Mowins noted in Thursday's final game. There are those who love the game and those that just don't know they love it yet. Precisely, and both are patiently awaiting its return. Here are 4 takeaways from the 2021 Women's College World Series. Redshirt junior Logan Newton finished the tournament with the 6th highest batting average at .364, and redshirt senior Madison Najokas finished with the 8th highest batting average at .333, among players with at least 10 at-bats. Redshirt senior Kate Gordon was tied for the second most home runs in the tournament with 3, for the 5th consecutive WCWS. Both teams in the World Series final had women head coaches, with Oklahoma head coach Patty Gasso collecting her 3rd national championship title in the last 5 tournaments and Florida State head coach Lonnie Alameda competing in her 2nd WCWS finals in the last 3. Though they couldn't finish the job, Alameda's number 10 seeded Seminoles knocked off the number 11 Arizona Wildcats, the number 5 Oklahoma State Cowgirls and the number 3 Alabama Crimson Tide, all within the span of 3 days. Women accounted for 5 of the 8 head coaches in the 2021 WCWS, 10 of the 16 in the NCAADI Tournament Super Regionals and 43 of the 64 in the NCAADI Tournament Regionals. The WCWS viewership has been on the rise for decades, and this year's tournament continued that trend, and yet, the mismanaged and poorly constructed schedule of the series belies its popularity. The 2021 WCWS was originally scheduled across 7 days from June 3 to 9, but was stretched through June 10 because of a rain delay. The lengthened schedule gave the women's teams 8 days to play up to 17 games. In contrast, the Men's College World Series is scheduled from June 19 to 30, giving the men's teams 4 more days to play up to 17 games. In the men's CWS, each team is guaranteed at least 3 rest days throughout the tournament and could have a maximum of 6 rest days depending on how many wins it racks up. In the WCWS, each of the 8 teams received only 1 rest day this year, and several teams that entered the losers bracket early on were forced to play doubleheaders. Oklahoma State and Florida State didn't finish their WCWS elimination game until 2 a.m. on Sunday, June 6, after a rain delay pushed the start time to 11:50 the night before. After defeating OSU, the Seminoles had to be ready hours later to play Alabama in the semifinals, but the process is still far from perfect, and this year's postseason confirmed that, as always, this year's national seeds were coveted by teams and coaches because they determined the locations of both regionals and super regionals. The 16 national seeded teams hosted regionals on their own campuses, aside from Duke, who couldn't host regionals due to COVID-19 restrictions, and the top 8 seeds hosted the best of 3 super regionals. But regardless of whether or not the selection committee can figure it out, the WCWS will continue to deliver some of the NCAA's most exciting and admirable athletes. Only 51 weeks until the world gets to witness it all again. More softball coverage.